Hi, Honest Discussioner here. Eddie Goomba came back after a little bit and asked for joke videos. So I'll give you some jokes. If you don't want more than one, I'll just give you my best. And if you do want more than one, I'll just keep watching after that. Sorry to the people who've heard these already in Stickam, but these are my favorites. So I'm pretty sure most of you haven't yet. All right, so there's three guys up in heaven, and St. Peter's about to go over and talk to them, see if he's going to let them in or not. And God pulls them aside and says, listen, just ask them how they died, and from there, you'll know whether or not they get in. So St. Peter pulls the first guy aside and says, how did you die? He's like, well, I'm a businessman, and I came home from work early one day, and I found a very romantic setting laid out that had been used. So I realized my wife had been cheating on me. I look out of the balcony, and I see the guy trying to climb out. So I rush outside, and I start smashing his fingers with my hand. But he won't let go. So I run inside, I grab a hammer, I come back, and I start smashing his fingers with a hammer, but he still won't let go. I have to pry his fingers off one at a time until he finally falls down, but he lands in some bushes and survives. So I drag out my refrigerator, and I push it over the balcony, and I crush the bastard. But I felt so bad about it that I jumped over the ledge and killed myself. So St. Peter goes to the second guy, pulls him aside, and says, how did you die? He says, well, I'm a gymnast, and I was practicing my gymnastics outside of my balcony when I lost my grip and I fell. Now, luckily for me, I grabbed onto the ledge underneath, but all of a sudden, this maniac comes out of nowhere and starts smashing my fingers with his fist. He runs inside and comes back a minute later with a hammer and starts smacking my fingers with the hammer. Now, I've got a pretty good grip, so I didn't let go, but he pried my fingers off one at a time, and I really didn't have much choice. I fell down, but I landed in some bushes, and I survived. I'm sitting there contemplating in agony what just happened, when all of a sudden a refrigerator comes out of nowhere and crushes me. So St. Peter goes over to the third guy and says, how'd you die? So he goes up and says, okay, picture this. You're naked, hiding in a refrigerator. Like that? Hopefully you like that. It's one of my favorites. Quick one is two guys walking into a bar. The third guy ducked. Now, here's an actual good one, though, I think. Guy walks into a bar, and he orders a beer, and he sees this jar of 50s sitting there on the countertop. And he asks the bartender, what's this jar of 50s doing here? So the bartender says, well, we've got a horse in the back, and he just lost his mate, so he's really, really upset. The doctors think he's going to die of depression if we don't do something about it. You put a $50 bill in the jar, and if you can make him laugh, you get to take the whole jar of 50s. So the guy says, sure. He puts a $50 bill in the jar, goes into the stables, comes back about a half a minute later, done, he says. The bartender goes in there, horse is cracking up laughing. So the guy takes his 50s and he goes home. Comes back a week later, orders a beer, there's another jar of 50s sitting there on the counter. He asks the bartender, hey bartender, what's up with this jar of 50s here? He says, well, that horse you made cry, now that you made laugh, he hasn't stopped laughing. Doctors say that, he's probably going to die of laughter if somebody doesn't get him to stop. So, same deal as before. You put $50 in the jar, and if you can get him to stop laughing, you get to take the jar of 50s home. So, the guy takes $50 bill, puts it in there, goes in there for about half a minute, comes back out, done, he says. Bartender goes in there, the horse is bawling his eyes out, crying. The bartender says, okay, well, take your jar of 50s, but can I ask you, how'd you get him to laugh in the first place? It's like, oh, that was easy. I told him I had a bigger dick than you did. Well, how did you get him to cry? Oh, that was even easier. I just showed him. I hope you liked that one. Quick fire blonde jokes before we go. How do you make a one-armed blonde fall out of a tree? Wave. How do you know when a blonde's been using a computer? White out on the screen. How do you know when a blonde's been using a computer besides that? There's cheese by the mouse. What do you call four blondes at a four-way intersection? An eternity. How do you drown a blonde? Put a scratch and sniff sticker at the bottom of the pool. Or put a mirror at the bottom of the pool. I've got a bunch more, but I think I've tortured you all enough for now. Oh, wait, no, never mind. One more. Two blondes are walking down the street, and the one sees a compact mirror, and opens it up, looks at it and says, "Hey, that person looks familiar." The other blonde grabs it, says, "You idiot, that's me!" I lied, I even got more now. Two blondes are on either side of a ravine, and one blonde shouts to the other blonde, "How do I get to the other side?" And the blonde replies, "You are on the other side." Yeah, that was pretty funny. This one I remember it when I first heard it. Well, Eddie, I hope you like those jokes. I'll stop now. I've got more, but I'll stop for now. Have a nice day. Honest Discussioner, out.